come, can a man who attempts to find enjoyment in the very feeling of his own degradation possibly have a spark of respect for himself? Dostoevsky writes this in his book Notes from the Underground. It is spoken by the man, I believe his name hasn't been mentioned till yet, so we'll call him the man from the underground because it's Notes from the Underground. So the man from the underground says, he puts this his idea that can a man who takes pleasure in his own self-destruction or his self-destructive habits ever truly respect himself? This is from page 21, chapter 5. It's the first line. So this whole chapter 5 is about guilt. He talks about guilt in this chapter. That's what we are going to explore. It's been a long while since I've read something like this, so it's becoming hard to understand a lot of it. But for the most part, the central idea, the theme of this chapter is guilt and how the man from the underground perceives guilt. Let's say he says he does some things that he's not he's not proud of, or that he feels guilty about doing those things, but then he feels as though his guilt is not real, as if he's merely faking it for the enjoyment of it, because as he's established earlier, he takes enjoyment in his own self-pity or self-degradation, self-sabotage, self-destruction, and then there's this line on the page 22, and I quote, "I assure you, in the depth of my heart, there was no faith in my suffering, only a faint stir of mockery. But yet I did suffer, and in the real orthodox way. I was jealous beside myself, and it was all from ennui." So ennui, for those of you who don't know, ennui is not really a concept, but it's more of a... Ennui basically means a feeling of extreme boredness and with no apparent purpose, or stillness when you have nothing to do, so you do anything, just to get rid of that purposelessness or boredom. So he does that. He does a lot of things. He does all of that from ennui. And one thing that you have to understand, if you are going to read this book, I've seen many people quote phrases, quotes from this book and defend them, but I believe that the purpose of Dostoevsky, the author, while writing this book, was to warn us against becoming a man like the man from the underground. He wrote this book as a cautionary advice, I'd say, to not become like him, because he's not a very good person. I mean, he says that those who can take actions are simply stupid, and they do not understand many possibilities, and a single reason for them is good enough to take actions, and they take actions very quickly, while a man with intelligence takes his time, he overanalyzes everything, sees so many possibilities that he becomes paralyzed by his own thoughts. This is a real thing, by the way. If you are someone who overanalyzes things and look at the possibilities before something happens. There's this film, if I don't remember the name, Good Will Hunting. Will Hunting was the name of the main character, and the name of the picture is Good Will Hunting. So he says to him that I don't really exactly remember the phrase, but it was something along the line that you don't take actions because you're so smart and you can see every possible way that you could fail, and that stops you from actually doing anything. You see every possibility that can go wrong, that you become unable to take those actions or steps. It was something like that. It's a good film. You can watch that. That's not the topic of this video. It's guilt. So for the man from the underground, the guilt is something he doesn't believe that he actually feels guilt. He believes that it's a form of act. He acts guilty while secretly enjoying his guilt. Because of this, he's stuck in a loop that he takes action, he does things that are wrong, according to him at least, and he feels guilty. But then he doesn't. Let's say he neglect. He discredits his guilt. He believes he's not actually feeling guilty, and thus he does those things again. He gets into this cycle of doing the thing, feeling guilty, not acknowledging his own guilt, and then repeating the whole cycle again and again. I believe that's something that Dostoevsky warns us about. He wants us to not not discredit our own feelings or emotions, no matter what. We have to at least acknowledge them, because if we don't acknowledge our feelings, if we keep ignoring them, discrediting, keep ignoring them, it can lead us to a very dark path in our life. When he says a man who enjoys his own self-destruction or self humiliation, self-degradation, cannot really respect himself, but does he respect himself? He calls himself a very intelligent man. So that's one of the contradictions. He's a very, he contradicts himself a lot. Guilt is a very close topic to me, because I feel like there are times I feel a lot of guilt, but there are other times when I do not. I have really this weird connection with guilt, where I feel guilty, but I don't really feel guilty. I mean, I feel guilty. I know that I should feel guilty. Like when, let's say, something bad happens to someone and they're telling me that this has happened, that has happened, and all of their troubles, and then I then start crying. I might feel a little guilty, not because something bad has happened to them, not because I'm feeling bad for them. I feel guilty because I don't feel bad for them. The only thing that's in my mind is, why are they telling me all of this? I mean, we are not really that close, and do they really enjoy telling their own pain to others? Like, we don't really trust each other that much. I would never tell them something like that, and I don't really care about what has happened to them. The only thing that goes in my mind is, let's get this over with, and I have got other things to do. And earlier I'd say a few years back, I used to keep this thought to myself. I would fake sympathy. I'd say, yeah, it happens and life goes on and stuff, or cliche stuff like that. But in this, like, I'm 22 now, and I believe I've gotten tired of hiding it, so I just say it to their face. Like, I don't really care. I could say I care. I could say I understand. I could say that I feel bad for you, but I don't really understand. I don't really feel bad for you, because we're not that close. I don't really understand, because I run from my own feelings. I don't remember the last time I tried to acknowledge my own feelings. I have always bottled up my feelings inside. So I don't really know how to process my own feelings, let alone help someone else process their own. And guilt is one of those feelings. I've done many things, but I've never felt guilty because I did that. I felt guilty because I did not feel guilty, because I should at least take some guilt in what I did. And that does not mean I don't take accountability. I take accountability when I am wrong. I accept my fault. I believe that I am wrong, but that does not make me feel any guilty. I had a choice. I made a decision, and it turned out to be wrong. I accept that. I acknowledge my own what's the word? I acknowledge my own failure, but I don't feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty that it hurt. It ended up hurting you. It caused you trouble, struggle, pain, whatever. But I don't really feel guilty about it. It was the choice I had to make, or it was the choice I made, and I did not know any better back then. So I don't really feel guilty about it. But yeah, I do feel a little bad. Like, I could have done something better. I could have made a better choice. But I'm 22 and I was a little kid back then, almost a teenager. I was a teenager, and teenagers are stupid. I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm still learning how to process my emotions, how to think better. So I can't really beat myself over what I did, because that is the most I could think of. That's the best I could think of at that time. So yeah, I could relate to that a little. That not actually processing your guilt. Actually, we see, if you feel guilty and you process it, the discomfort lasts for a while, but you are actually getting better at the end of it. You might feel discomfort now. You might feel bad now, but later on you feel good. Not good, but later on you feel free. Actually, you aren't burdened by your guilt. But when you feel guilty and you don't process it, you deny your feelings. You deny that, yeah, I don't really feel guilty. My guilt is fake, or whatever that is. That sticks with you. It doesn't really go away. It acquires a heavy space on your consciousness, on your head, and it causes more trouble later on, because as you keep denying your feelings, they pile up more and more and more, and one day change the way you think. You become less sympathetic. I've seen it myself. Over the year, I used to be very sympathetic with people. I used to feel very strongly for them, but I'd say denying my guilt, denying my emotions, my feelings, and saying that I don't really feel bad for you, I don't understand you, it has never happened to me. That logic, that intellectualizing my emotions, my feelings, my sympathy had made me a lot less sympathetic. Now I don't actually feel bad. I'm almost numb to these things. I say it to their face. I don't really care if they feel bad. That's really something that I'm trying to improve on. I believe this time I was able to keep to the main topic a lot from the previous video, so I guess it's helping a little. I can actually form better sentences and keep adhere to the main topic at hand. Yeah, so Dostoevsky wants us not to be that kind of man, and to actually acknowledge feelings, or at least deal with this. Like let's say you feel guilty and you think, okay, my guilt is not real, my guilt is not real, I'm acting, I don't actually feel guilty. You have to process that too. You have to process why you are feeling that way, why you are neglecting or not acknowledging your own feelings or how you feel. Because if you do that now, you save yourself years of torment. Because the man from the underground is not a good person, not a good in the sense, not he's not an evil person, doesn't go around murdering people. He's good in the sense that he's not very healthy. He's a mentally sick person. And I believe as the book goes on, it becomes more and more clear. Because right now, and one thing that he is an intelligent man. He is smart. He's not stupid. Though he calls others stupid, but he is actually a very smart man. He understands himself. But the thing is, he does not take any actions to fix himself. It happens to a lot of people who are self-aware. Being self-aware necessarily doesn't mean you are more intelligent, but it is intelligent people are more likely to be more self-aware. I guess it was something like that. But he is self-aware. He understands the reason. He sees himself doing the thing that he knows he shouldn't do, but he does not take any actions to fix them. He lives in self-pity. There's this quote from Bungo Stray Dogs, an anime, where Osamu Dazai, actually it's a whole thing. Osamu Dazai it's a character, and it's actually a real person who the character was inspired from. A lot of those the characters in that series are inspired from actual writers and their books, stuff like that. But he says that do not ever wallow or something like that in self-pity, because that will make your life miserable. And that's what this man does. He places so much importance in his own self-pity that he does not do anything for his troubles. He says he's guilty, and he then does not acknowledges his own guilt. He says he does this out of boredom. He says he feels guilty because he has nothing else to do. Because when a man has nothing else to do, he'll do literally anything. And so he says that because he does not have anything, he feels guilty. He does not actually acknowledge his own feelings. He does not say that I feel guilty because I'm human. Feeling emotions is part of being a human. And because he's an intelligent man, he sees himself feeling guilty, but he cannot rationalize that. He cannot rationalize. I'd say he rationalizes the opposite. He rationalizes that he has not done something bad, so why should he feel guilty? It isn't really that bad that he should feel guilty, because he can rationalize his feelings, his thoughts, his emotions, whatever that is. I believe that's what that chapter is about. His struggle with his own guilt, and what kind of man he is. And as the book goes on, I believe we'll realize how not healthy he is in his mind. He's still able to make sound decisions. He is still smart enough. But not being honest with yourself is actually a disease. I do not know about if consciousness is a disease or being too self-aware is a disease, but being dishonest with yourself is surely a disease, and it sickens a person over time, and that's something you don't want to be. So if you take anything away from this video, It's to be honest with yourself, to acknowledge your feelings, to at least acknowledge the fact that you are not acknowledging your feelings, and do something about it. It's not enough to just acknowledge things that okay, I run from my feelings and that's it, I won't do anything about it. Do something about it, take steps, do something, and you'll find yourself becoming better. Because if you do not, it makes you a very sick person. And I am guilty of it as well. So that's why I've made this page, to be more aware, to make actionable steps towards my self-destructive habits. I don't do, because whenever things are going too well, I do something that causes a lot of trouble for myself. I have caught myself doing this self-sabotaging because somewhere inside I don't believe I truly deserve anything. I don't really deserve the success and all of that, I feel. And that is why I self-sabotage, and that's what I am trying to change. I am trying to be better. I am trying to speak my mind out and see what's left of me when I get rid of all these negative thoughts and all these negative habits. Well, I was supposed to stick to a topic here, and this was about guilt, and let's see how things goes.